S. Jaishankar's classic, beautiful takedown of Congress loyalist turned Twitter troll Ramachandra Guha brings us a moot question tonight before us. Are we ready to relook, revive, and rekindle those chapters of Indian history that have been deliberately underplayed to suit one political narrative? Let's debate.
हिंदुस्तान में कोई भी प्रांत के पड़े हैं, हम हिंदुस्तानी हैं और हमारा प्रथम कर्तव्य हिंदुस्तान की हिफाजत, हिंदुस्तान की रक्षा.
The Iron Man who integrated close to 565 princely states and unified India in true sense. A man who was not given his due for the last 7 decades. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's legacy has always been undermined and overshadowed by that of the Nehru-Gandhi dynasty.
किसी को प्रधानमंत्री बनना था, इसलिए हिंदुस्तान के ऊपर एक लकीर खींची गई और देश का बंटवारा कर दिया.
The legacy debate has shot back to focus when External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar tweeted about a newly released book on a version of history that completely contradicts Congress's. Congress-backed historian Ramachandra Guha was up in arms, trying to troll the minister. But the minister didn't take it lying down. He hit back with equal measure. And the legacy debate exploded with some personal attacks by the historian. Whether it is a narrative on Ambedkar or Nehru's treatment of Subhash Chandra Bose or Congress's insecurities against strongman Sardar Patel. Why does the lobby feel threatened when the hegemonic version of history is challenged? Why do the Congress and its backers get cold feet when it's about debating on half-truths and coloured history? Let's debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this debate, I am joined by Sambit Patra, Anand Ranganathan, Professor P.K. Basu, from Singapore, author of Asia Reborn. We have Tahira Hassan, activist from Lucknow, Suneet Chopra of the CPM, and Rahul Singh, senior journalist, will be joining us in just a bit. You know, this was very interesting today. The way in which Jaishankar took down Ram Guha. I first want to get Professor P.K. Basu, if you followed that Twitter war, I'll put out some of it, in the course of the debate. This is the classic trolling by Ram Guha, where he tells the foreign minister of India that I don't need your views on history because my views on history are final. I thought it was intolerant. It was classically a poor attempt at patronizing someone as erudite as the foreign minister of India. And I think that was a fantastic takedown by Jaishankar in turn. What do you think, Professor Basu?
Yes, I think the foreign minister had a wonderful takedown. There is no monopoly on history or on the truth. And the idea that something that Srinath Raghavan says is the gospel truth and there's nothing else to be said is absurd. So what Ram Guha came up with is that Srinath Raghavan has proved that that Sardar Patel was never going to be dropped from the cabinet. There are numerous examples of tremendous disputes between Nehru and Sardar Patel in cabinet, particularly over 2 issues. One, Kashmir, and 2, Tibet. In 1950, the response to China's invasion of Tibet in October 1950, Sardar Patel wrote a pained letter, and it is there in the record. So, but before that, over Kashmir, in August and September, there were massive rows. And prior to that, of course, Nehru had certainly considered dropping Vallabhbhai Patel from the cabinet because Vallabhbhai Patel was, of course, much more popular with the Pradesh Congress committees. He was their choice to be Prime Minister in May 1946, but Gandhiji basically requested that Patel should step aside. So there were enormous differences of views between them, and it is futile to pretend otherwise.
I think this is brilliant. Viewers, in case you missed it, let me put it this way, in case you missed this, I want to introduce what happened.
Pretending otherwise.
No, I tell you.
No one is pretending otherwise.
No, 1 minute. Let me explain.
Arnab, history is not storytelling.
No one is pretending otherwise.
It is always based on
but
facts,
the facts of history developed along one line, and that line is known as that.
I feel so sorry for you, Sunit Chopra and Tahira.
It is.
Tahira, I feel rather sorry for you too.
Tahira,
I feel rather sorry for you too. And may I say this?
I'm sorry for you today.
I feel sorry for you.
I'm feeling sorry for you, Arnab.
I feel sorry for you.
You see, the Patel was a strong pillar of the Nehru, and in his cabinet, his name was on the top.
He saved Nehru,
list.
but of course
he was very strong, a strong cabinet member.
1 second.
You know,
Tahira,
always
listen.
on him.
Tahira,
you
listen.
remember in
Tahira, listen.
1948,
Tahira,
in
listen.
Jaipur there was a congress. Where
Tahira, you have no idea. Tahira, listen. Tahira, listen. Tahira, listen. Tahira, listen. Tahira, listen. I'm sorry to. I'm sorry to. Listen to me, Tahira. I'm really sorry, Anand. I think I'll have to do this. I really did not want to do this, but I will be compelled to do this. I will have to proceed to shatter these hagiographers' views of Indian history. These views have to be shattered. And I need to tell you something, Tahira. I have said in my introduction today that Nehru, if you study him, and I have studied him, you haven't, he's a deeply flawed and insecure individual.
Yes, I have studied.
He's a deeply flawed and insecure individual, constantly looking over his shoulder, unsure of himself, and constantly feeling that others are going to upstage him.
Good part of his life in jail.
That's all right.
He took part in freedom struggle.
That's all right. Don't.
And you know this freedom,
right.
we should value our freedom and preserve it.
This is embarrassing, Arnab.
I just feel 1 minute. I tell you one thing. I feel so embarrassed. I feel so embarrassed when I.
History, so it is embarrassing.
We've done a deep. Tahira, let me tell you something.
We don't believe in the story.
Tahira, let me tell you one thing. First of all, hats off to Jaishankar. Hats off to Jaishankar. I'd say today, hats off to Jaishankar. We must understand. This man is not just a career diplomat. He's a fantastic MA in political science, MPhil, PhD in international relations. He's erudite. He's got operational experience. He's not just a bookworm.
From JNU.
And from JNU at that. Congratulations to you for that, Anand. Question is, are we, viewers, 1 minute. Can I do this? Do I have to beg? Thank you. Let me say something. Are we mature enough to accept the reality of our history? Or will we condemn the future generations of this country to study a hagiography of the Vadra Gandhi Nehru family as Indian history? I refuse to accept that future generations of Indians will study the hagiography of the Vadra Gandhi family.
This is nonsense.
History, Baba.
So we are going to rewrite history.
It is written by historian based on historical facts.
Yeah, I'd like to share.
Marx on your panel.
Okay, 1 minute. Just a minute. Okay, can I please, Tahira, Tahira, listen to me. I like what you're talking about facts. I present one fact, hand over to Anand. Anand, one of the facts out there. Was it or was it not Nehru who humiliated and insulted Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel during a critical cabinet meeting to discuss the liberation of Hyderabad? And he said to Sardar Patel, you, Patel, are a complete communalist. And I will never be party to your suggestions and proposals. And Sardar Patel was so hurt that, you know something, he never attended a single cabinet meeting after that. This is reality. Will Ram Guha accept this? Ram Guha, are you watching? Are you listening? Will you read a few books? Will you read up next time you troll? Anand, let's accept these. Please. Anand is on the debate,
Arnab, you have to realize that.
It is not.
Yeah, you have to realize that people like Ram Guha, I mean, their credibility is lower than the water table of Jaisalmer.
Well said.
He's like a Titanic.
Well, fantastic.
He was launched amid great fanfare
What
by
a
the
subtle
Lutyens
analogy.
cabal, with the Queen also, inaugurating the Titanic. It sailed for about 5 days, and everyone was very happy. And there was like music on the deck and everything until it encountered an iceberg in the shape of social media.
Not history.
That is what is the reality of people like Ram Guha.
And not history.
I mean, he knows as much about history as Rahul Gandhi knows about molecular biology.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, fantastic.
And his favorite singer
Tyra,
was
you can laugh openly. Don't restrain yourself.
Sam Cooke and
Everyone's on the debate today, viewers.
Not
Anand is informed. Continue, Anand, with all my blessings.
I want to come to the topic.
Please do, please do.
I want to come to the topic.
Please do.
And the topic, is on Patel and on Nehru. And of course, Nehru was unabashedly and sickeningly vindictive towards Sardar Patel. And the whole Congress party as well. I mean, the biggest example of that is that Nehru died in 1964, he got the Bharat Ratna in the 50s. Indira Gandhi died in 1984, she got the Bharat Ratna in 1971. Patel died in 1991. I beg your pardon, he died in 1950 and he got the Bharat Ratna in 1991. This is how Congress treated Sardar Patel. But to come back to this topic, Arnab, last 30 seconds. As far as Nehru denying Patel a berth in the first cabinet is concerned, I'm not very convinced whether he actually did, omit his name. Because, of course, I mean, Mr. Guha's defense is painfully thin and it's completely wrong. But the fact is that Nehru was consulting Sardar Patel as to who the members of the cabinet are. And interestingly, on 5th August, when he gave the final list, and Sardar Patel's name was there, before that, he was consulting Sardar Patel. He had also, very interestingly, given an envelope to Mountbatten, and it actually supposedly contained the list of the first cabinet, ministers.
I agree, viewers. This is a beautiful debate. I think
it was a blank sheet of paper.
I want to add to this. The subject of the debate is not Patel versus Nehru. Can I, Anand, with your permission, broaden the scope of the debate to what I... may I please, Tyra, listen, Tyra. Listen, Tyra. Listen to me. Listen to me, Tyra. You see, the problem is, we know what the real problem is. The real problem is that trolls don't spend time in libraries. They're always in lit fests. And when you don't spend time in libraries, when you don't study, when you don't research, when you don't do any scholarly work, when you don't publish any requisite papers, and when constantly you spend day and night abusing on Twitter, you lose your mojo. Problem is, in this case, Guha had none. I'd like to share a few facts with you tonight, viewers. I want Sambit Patra to be on the debate. And Guha is stuck up on asserting that Nehru rolled out a red carpet for Sardar Patel to be part of the cabinet. I mean, Guha, are you off your mind? You know how Nehru treated...
He could not exist without Patel. The two have a history.
Please don't give me this. Don't give me this Ram Lakhan perspective of Indian history.
He could not have
Don't give me this Jai Viru. Don't give me this Jai Viru. Come on, don't give me this Jai Viru rubbish on Indian history. You people trivialize things so much.
This is history.
Actually, you should go back to 1929.
You know,
to go back to 1929.
No, I don't want to go back to 29.
Goswami, can I come?
No, I don't want to go back to 29. I want to stay on 47.
No, you
47.
will decide who is a historian, who is not.
Yeah, to some extent I will, because we study, because we research. We don't troll day in and day out. Yeah, we have some intellectual depth. Everyone's on the debate. No, my friend PK Basu says go back to 29. PK, I find 47 the interesting year. Because in 1947, allow me, in 1947, 24th December to be precise, Sambit, under great pain, after constant humiliation from an insecure Nehru, Sardar Patel said that it will be impossible for me to function in the minister because Nehru has restricted my ministerial responsibility. Can you imagine, viewers? And he said, today we are told, why is there a big statue of Patel?
One
You know
can
what?
imagine it.
You know
But
what he
one must
said?
know
You know what
were the restrictions?
I'll tell you the restriction. Patel said it is impossible for me to function under the restrictions of ministerial responsibility, which Nehru considered legitimate. In other words, Nehru literally handcuffed Patel. Nehru handcuffed Patel.
Go to Sardar Patel's funeral.
Students.
This was the vindictiveness of someone like Nehru.
Vindictive, insecure. Sambit is on the way.
The funeral of Sardar Patel.
Can I just come in?
Yeah, please.
Can I just have a few seconds? I know history is not my forte, but still, what you were mentioning, Mr. Goswami, I believe that we really have to come to the fact. I mean, there was a book by M.K.K. Nair with no ill feelings to anybody. And what is there in the book? In the book it is mentioned, and I should quote. In his book, With No Ill Feelings to Anybody, Shri M.K.K. Nair, an IS officer of the 1947 batch, who was close both to Sardar and V.P. Menon, writes, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the then Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister of India, was insulted, humiliated and disgraced by the then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru during a cabinet meeting. And I quote, you are complete communalist and I will never be a party to your suggestions and proposal. Nehru shouted at Patel during a crucial cabinet meeting to discuss the liberation of Hyderabad by the army from the tyranny of the Razakars, the then Nizam's private army. A shocked Sardar Patel collected his papers on the table and slowly walked out of the cabinet room. He would never return to attend any of Nehru's cabinet meeting thereafter. Shame. Shame on this Gandhi family, number one. Shame number two. After Sardar Patel's death, do you know, there were two memos. Madam, just a second. I'll just complete, madam. Few seconds. There were two memos on the desk of VP Memon. Number one memo.
Brilliant viewers, brilliant. Great feedback from all our viewers to this reality about Indian history being put on air tonight.
Cadillac car tomorrow morning in my...
This is gossip.
I want Sardar Patel's Cadillac car tomorrow morning at my porch. That was the first memo. And the second memo to VP Memon was, all those officers who want to attend the funeral of Sardar Patel should do it at their own expense. No one is going to spend a single penny for Sardar Patel's funeral and not from the state exchequer. Thanks to VP Memon, he called all the officers, did not explain anything about the memo, did not disclose the memos, and said that all those who wanted to go for the funeral of Sardar Patel, I am going to pay for them.
Clearly,
it was from VP Memon's pocket that the ticket expenses were paid. And I'm sorry that this is the way the family had disgraced the first Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister of India, the man who saved the map of this country.
Take a Prime Minister's memos that lightly.
No, one second. Let me add on one more thing.
Mr. Karl Marx on a run. This Mr. Karl Marx on a run, perpetually on a run. Every night, Karl Marx sits in a car and runs out somewhere. We are not here to listen to you, sir. We don't need your certificate. You all are historians. You're not historians.
I don't care.
No. You all are historians. These people have distorted everything.
Karl Marx or Engels?
Gossip.
Please look at his beard.
History will not change with your gossip.
You want to know history?
You said that the chief minister to be of Delhi is a terrorist.
You know something. Let me tell you. And I believe we need to be very true about the facts. We must understand that even Mahatma Gandhi was a human being. We must understand that even Mahatma Gandhi was a human being.
Yes.
And Mahatma Gandhi made a big mistake. Can I tell you what the mistake was? And I hope you don't hang me for saying this. I hope you don't believe that just because I said that Mahatma Gandhi was a human being, Mahatma Gandhi made mistakes.
That's not history what you're saying.
Gandhi made...
Never happened.
You know what was Gandhi's greatest fault?
That's not history.
You know what was Gandhi's greatest fault?
Never happened.
Gandhi's greatest fault, I say this, viewers, at the risk of angering the trolls. But the problem with you trolls is that you don't study. You are not aware. Another troll like Ram Guha feeds you facts and you go around whipping it about, retweeting it without knowing anything. Mahatma Gandhi's great mistake, viewers, I will say this, that he did something which was against the spirit of democracy. allow me to complete. Tahira, allow me to complete. Mahatma Gandhi went against the spirit of inter-party democracy. In 1946, at the time of the presidential election of the Congress party on the eve of our independence, 12 out of 15 Pradesh Congress committees said, we want Sardar Patel to be the president of the Congress. We demand that Sardar Patel be the president of the Congress. Now, when 12 out of 15 Pradesh Congress committees want Sardar Patel to be president of the Congress, naturally, Sardar Patel must be president of the Congress. But then Nehru went crying to Mahatma Gandhi, and he says, no, I am not going to take the second place. I want to be president of the Congress. I want to be president of the Congress.
Or is that your gossip?
1 minute, it's not gossip, man. You don't read. Go to a library. Listen to me. The question is, go to a library. And Gandhi said, Gandhi then went to Sardar Patel and said, withdraw. Withdraw because Jawahar will not take the second place. It's a fact. And you know the large-heartedness, Anand, of Patel? Gandhi made Patel withdraw.
I will also go through it.
Was that fair? Is that written in our history books? I want it in our history books.
You just mentioned the name of the book, Arnab.
Pardon me?
I will also
well said, Arnab.
I want this in my history book.
None of these facts ever emerged when we were students. Arnab, you remember?
Yes. Yes, Anand, I remember.
In school, in colleges, none of these facts came out.
Yes, I remember, Anand.
History was airbrushed.
I remember, Anand. I remember.
And these people like Guha, they say Nehru fought for freedom of speech and expression. Nehru was a liberal. Nothing could be further from the truth. The guy was a dictator when it came to stomping on freedom of speech and expression.
And I say,
he jailed editors, he banned books, he banned films.
You know, and how they do it. Can I tell you the instrument they used to do this? Can I just take a minute?
Who banned RSS?
Come on, don't be shallow. We're having a serious debate, Tahira. Don't give me this perfunctory, superficial comments.
Is this your response?
I mean, is
this your response?
Yeah.
Why are you taking Patel like that?
I mean, how much would you stoop down? Where is your scholarship?
No conflict.
Why don't you look at facts?
We have read.
Weren't you saying that history should be judged by the facts?
Viewers, I invite PK Basu.
Why are you doing whataboutery?
May I, Anand, make one point? You see, the thing is this. The truth will be told.
Banned RSS.
No, 1 second. I tell you.
After Gandhi's death.
Oh God, Mr. Sunit Chopra, please calm down. You know what you burst an artery on my program.
Who lifted the ban on the RSS?
I say one more thing to you.
Was it Mao?
Are we
was
ready?
Was it Pol Pot?
Anand,
no,
please.
Arnab, these guys get on my nerves.
Yes, they do on mine as well, but look at me, a picture of patience and calm. Now listen to me. PK, you know what the problem is. You know what the problem is. Now what was I supposed to, you know what the problem is. The problem is these, I believe PK, I believe that the truth is white and falsehood is black. And I believe that there is right and there is wrong. And these people don't say so. You know what these people believe? You know what these people believe, everyone on? What these people say is, no, there are gray areas. They say there are gray areas. They say the truth is in the gray. I say the truth is in the white, not in the black. And the truth cannot be in the gray. Staying in the gray area, they deny the fact that Nehru spied on Subhash Chandra Bose. Nehru spied on Subhash Chandra Bose. Nehru, there were declassified Bose papers. What happened to them? Nehru called out Gandhiites. I want to ask you this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying I'm ready for the truth. PK, Ram Guha is not ready for the truth, but I am. Are you ready?
And Patel all?
Yeah. Now, first of all, he spied on members of the Bose family
for years.
And this spying continued from 1947 until 1968, and all these records of this spying was sent to MI5 and MI6 in Britain. We were supposed to have been independent in 1947, and yet our intelligence bureau was sending reports about the Bose family all the way until 1968 to MI5 and MI6. I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay. Apart from that, also, I think it's important to understand that India was owed $5.4 billion by Britain as war debts. These were called sterling balances. And you know what was done with them? They were used in the end to pay the pensions of Britishers who served the British Empire in India.
Okay, viewers,
Indian taxpayers paid the pensions.
No, viewers, PK, so sorry to interrupt you. PK, so sorry to interrupt you. So sorry to interrupt you, but I feel proud we have an erudite, confident person capable of destroying trolls like Jaishankar as the Foreign Minister of India. And one thing I want to just say, we had a great debate today. Viewers, in the context of how Kejriwal is trying to be Chota Modi and how Kejriwal is trying to ape Modi's politics, I have a great Sunday debate. And my Sunday debate, you'll find this interesting, is the right the new center? Is the right the new center, viewers? This is a very interesting Sunday debate we've got up this time. Is the right the new center? Ladies and gentlemen, please do not miss this debate. And it's a pleasure bringing the news to you. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be back. Till then, good night, and goodbye.